Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Tea. I'm your host, the amazing T Street. Today's coffee mug says, but first, pray. Y'all, this is Lent, so make sure you're taking some intentional time to fast and to pray during this season as we prepare for the celebration of Resurrection Sunday, which is 40 days from when Lent begins. So today, I had to come on to talk about a topic that has been blessing me. If I'm honest, y'all, I tell you, most of the time when I come up with topics, it's the stuff that I needed for me. Today's coffee with tea, give yourself the gift of forgiveness. I call it forgiftness, forgiftness. ForGiftness. Give yourself the gift of forgiveness, which we're going to call forgiftness. So I'm here we go, y'all. Y'all know we gonna jump right in. Have have you ever carried something so long that it started to feel like it belonged to you? I know one day I was walking through the airport and I had somebody else's bag. After a while, it just became a part of my person. It felt like if I gave it up, I would be giving up a piece of me. But indeed, it wasn't even my bag. Have you ever carried a mistake, a regret, a moment that you wish you could rewind? And without realizing it, you wrapped yourself in it, you labeled it, and you started carrying it like it was a permanent package. But today, I want to ask you a question. What if the thing you've been holding on to was never meant to be kept? What if you've been holding on to something that was supposed to be released? Today, I want to talk about giving yourself a gift, the gift of forgiveness, or we're going to call it forgiftness. Good morning, Miss Teresa Woods. Good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Miss Rhonda Sharp. The gift of forgiveness. Okay? Stop carrying what you were never meant to keep. That's the first point. Some of us are walking around with emotional baggage that doesn't even belong to our future. We're holding old mistakes. We're holding past decisions. Y'all, let it go. All of us have made decisions in our past that we probably should not have. I have. You have. Let it go. Things we don't even think about sometimes we've been carrying. Things we didn't know better about at the time that we did it. We didn't know better. And what did Oprah say? When you know better, do better. Instead of learning from it, we live in it. That's what some of us have been doing. We've been living in things from our past that we were never meant to live in. But here's the truth. You cannot step into your next season if your hands are full from your last one. That felt good to me. You cannot step into your next season if your hands are full from your last season. Forgiveness is not pretending that it didn't happen. Forgiveness is saying it happened, but it no longer owns me. Here's a T moment, y'all. I realized that I don't have to carry the version of me that was still learning. I was still learning. I made some mistakes. And once I asked for forgiveness, good morning, Sands. Once I asked for forgiveness, I let it go because I'm carrying things that I wasn't meant to carry. So give yourself the gift of forgiveness. Point number 2, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, not an excuse you give the past. Now, don't get it twisted. There's accountability sometimes that has to be had. Sometimes we think if we forgive ourselves, we're letting ourselves off the hook. Y'all, can I just tell you, you're not letting yourself off the chain because holding on to guilt doesn't fix the past. It just punishes your present. Forgiveness is not saying it was okay. Forgiveness is saying I'm choosing to grow beyond where I was or beyond what I did. And listen, you cannot heal what you keep rehearsing. Y'all, there were some things from my past that I would rehearse over and over and over in my mind. And I know that was the enemy literally beating me up with the memory from my past. But can I tell you, every time I replay it, I reopen it. Every time you replay in your mind that past mistake or that past hurt or that past regret, you reopen that gift. But when you forgive yourself, you say, I remember the lesson without reliving the pain. There's a difference. That, y'all, is maturity. That is growth. That is what forgiftness looks like. The gift of forgiveness. That's what it looks like. Point number 3, the gift only works if you open it. Y'all, I'm the person, I like the gifts to sit under my Christmas tree until Christmas Day. If you give it to me way in advance, you're like, girl, did you open it? I didn't. I like to hold on to it and wait to open it on Christmas morning. I don't care how many gifts accumulate themselves under my tree. They're going to sit there till Christmas Day. But can I just tell you, the gift only works if you open the gift of forgiveness. You you can have access to forgiveness, y'all, and still not walk in it. Because some of us don't feel like we deserve forgiveness. We say, man, I should have known better. Man, I messed up so bad. I can't forgive myself for that. But let me tell you something powerful. The fact that you're grown enough to regret it, it means you're no longer the person who did it. I'm not the T that left carcasses behind. When I realized that I left carcasses behind and I was grieved by it, that's when I knew that I was no longer that person who did those things. The fact that you're grown enough to regret it means that you're no longer the person who did it. So that's the question that we have to ask ourselves. We have to ask ourselves, why are we still holding on to it? Those are the kinds of questions that we have to literally puzzle through as we're working through the gift of forgiveness. But let me tell you something powerful. The version of you that doesn't exist anymore deserves the gift of forgiveness as a gift. But forgiveness is only a gift when you open it. You have to decide, I will no longer be both the prisoner and the prison guard in my own life. Because that's what you are when you allow your past to keep you captive. You are both the prisoner and the prison guard. Let it go. Open the doors and release today. So today, I just wanted to tell somebody to do something intentional. I want you to identify one thing. I'm not asking you to do the broad scope of your whole past, just one thing that you've been holding against yourself. And I want you to say this: I release myself from this. Not because it didn't matter, but because I matter more. Give yourself the gift, not next year, not when you feel perfect, y'all. There's no such thing. And not when you've earned it, right now. Because the truth is, the life that you're praying for requires the version of you that is no longer carrying what God already forgave. I'm going to give it to you one more time. The life that you're praying for requires a version of you that no longer is carrying what God already forgave. So today, give yourself the gift of forgiveness. Walk in your forgiveness. How? Stop carrying what you were never meant to keep. Remember that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, not an excuse that you give your past. And the only gift, the gift only works if you open it. So today, I want to encourage you to open the gift called ForGIFTness. You deserve it. You may not think that you do, but God says that you do. He says that he would cast those things from our past into the deepest sea. And what he is not is a deep sea diver. So have an amazing day. Y'all already know I'm the amazing T Street, but there is absolutely positively nothing amazing in me that's not in each and every one of you. So go tap your amazing today by giving yourself the gift of forgiveness. Have a great day, y'all.